The Paradise Papers explained. A massive new trove of leaked records is shining light on how the world's richest are sheltering their wealth offshore. The Paradise Papers are a leak of 13.4 million papers covering people's finances from 1950 to 2016, mostly from offshore law firm Appleby and the company registries of 19 tax havens. Appleby's clients include both people and companies from countries like the UK, China, and Hong Kong. The majority, however, are from the US, numbering at least 30,000. The leaked documents detail how firms like Appleby help clients stash money and assets in offshore tax havens to avoid paying high taxes. The exposé comes from the same German newspaper that outed last year's Panama Papers and reveals the secret dealings of numerous individuals and companies, including the Queen of England and Facebook. The Queen's private estate had invested nearly £10 million in a Cayman Islands fund, some of which had gone to a company accused of exploiting the poor. Facebook and Twitter, meanwhile, received investments that were traced to Russian state institutions. The funds had gone through a business associate of Trump advisor and son-in-law Jared Kushner. Most of these transactions and accounts are perfectly legal, but whether they are fair or moral is another matter entirely. Here are more stories about leaked documents.
In light of the release of the Panama Papers, here's what you need to know about offshore shell companies. An anonymous person from a Panamanian law firm, Mossack Fonseca, has leaked millions of documents describing how some of the world's richest hide money in offshore havens. Although the spotlight is currently on Panama, tax havens like Panama exist all over the world. People use them to avoid regulations that protect transparency and taxes in their home countries. Shell companies are often established in cities and countries that have lax rules governing transparency and financial disclosure. However, it isn't always about paying less taxes. These places may also have more lenient criminal laws. Wealth isn't necessarily kept within tax haven countries. Often such places only serve as addresses for shell companies which exist solely on paper and are created for as little as $1,000 US. On paper, these shell companies act as the intermediaries that own the wealth, whether that asset is a painting or a Swiss bank account. Because of the complex organizational structure of these shell companies, it's very difficult to figure out who a company actually belongs to. Setting up a shell company is not illegal, and its existence is not always for a nefarious reason. A shell company may be established as a way for one to save up funds to open a business. It may also act as a front for a project that a well-known company wants to keep from the public's eye until it's ready. However, these shells are often used as tax or legal loopholes, as setting up a shell company doesn't require much identification, which allows their ultimate owners to evade scrutiny. UC Berkeley economics professor Gabriel Zuckman estimates that there is at least $7.6 trillion US kept in offshore tax havens. However, due to the nature of tax havens, it's difficult to know for sure what the true amount is.
Winter has come for HBO. Season 7 of Game of Thrones is currently in full swing, breaking viewership records, but also causing a digital headache for HBO, because even hackers want in on that Westerosi realness. The entertainment giant's first hit came at the end of July, when 1.5 terabytes of data were stolen from their US servers. Hacker group Mr. Smith got their hands on employee emails, show scripts, and multiple show episodes. They released unaired episodes of Ballers and Room 104 online, then asked for a 7.5 million Bitcoin ransom in exchange for no more spoilers. But like Jon Snow, HBO refused to bend the knee, and instead offered a $250,000 bug bounty to stall Mr. Smith while the situation was assessed. In early August, a distribution partner in India leaked the 4th episode of Game of Thrones online, and just this week, HBO Nordic in Spain accidentally aired an hour of episode 6. Oops. The latest security woe comes courtesy of a group called Our Mind, who breached HBO's Twitter account and the Game of Thrones Facebook fan page to very kindly inform them that their security sucks. Our Mind seems to be a white hat hacker group whose pet peeve is lack security. Still, no one can argue that HBO just can't seem to catch a break. It's a pity they don't have a fire-breathing dragon or two to defeat their enemies. Yeah.
Vatican arrests priest, laywoman for leaking secret documents. 2 people were arrested by the Vatican, including a high-ranking official of the Roman Curia, on suspicion of leaking confidential documents to the media. The suspects have been identified as Spanish Monsignor Lucio Angel Vallejo Balda and Italian laywoman Francesca Ciucci, who were members of a commission that Pope Francis set up to advise him on economic reforms in the Curia. The committee was dissolved after completing its report to the Pope last year. Both Balda and Ciucci are accused of leaking confidential documents to the media, including letters to the Pope from Vatican officials complaining about alleged corruption in the Holy See. The 2 were arrested just days before 2 Italian journalists were due to release their books that are set to reveal alleged conspiracies in the Vatican. CBS reported that the Holy See officials have contacted Italian authorities regarding the punishments for the 2 authors.